Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. Today I am going to talk to you all about the September sewing challenges on Instagram. If that sounds interesting to you. So last month I started this series when I did a roundup of August challenges, and it seemed to be something that you guys liked because it kind of put all of the challenges in one place for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through the challenges. I'm going to tell you what the name of the challenge is, who's hosting it, whether or not there are prizes, and the dates. In last month's video, I did get a request to let you guys know whether the prizes were international or not. The only thing I can say about that is I didn't find any of these where they specifically said they were international. So what I'm going to assume is that they are international unless they say otherwise. But if that's not correct, then I just encourage you to check out the host's Instagram page for more specific details. So I'm not going to identify whether or not they're international at this point because I don't have concrete information, if that makes sense. All right, so let's get started. All right, the very first challenge that I have to tell you about is one that has a really good cause behind it. So it's hosted by Funderwear. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the name of the challenge, the hosts across the screen, but I will link everything in the Instagram page with the challenge post. I don't know if that's even possible. I will at least link the Instagram account below for you to be able to go and check out the challenge. So, like I said, the first one is hosted by Funderwear, and it is in support of Joe's Cervical Cancer Fund. And the whole idea behind this one is to help raise money for cervical cancer and for this fund specifically. So the challenge is that you're going to sew a pair of panties or pants or underwear, whatever it is that you call them, and to bring awareness to the cause and to the fund. I would encourage you to also donate to the fund if you're able to, but if all you can do is participate in the challenge, at least you're spreading the word, which I think is also a great thing. This challenge does have prizes. I believe when I read about it, they didn't have the specifics of the prizes yet, so I don't have that information. But you can check out Funderwear's Instagram account for updates. This challenge does run for the month of September, so it starts on September 1st, which by the time you're seeing this video will be yesterday, and goes through the month. So that is a great way to kick off the September challenges because it's for a very good cause. All right, challenge number 2 is called Sew Vintage September, and it is hosted by Carrie from Kestrel Makes and Marie from Stitch Odyssey. All right, so basically what this challenge is all about is encouraging you to sew something that either is an actual vintage pattern or actual vintage fabric or reproductions of either, or a combination thereof. So however you interpret vintage in a sewing garment, they're encouraging you to do that, which I think is a lot of fun. We just had the Sew My Birthday challenge, which kind of was along the same lines, where it was encouraging you to sew something from the year that you were born, or at least inspired by something from the year that you were born. This one's more, they want the look to be vintagey. So I think that's really cool, and it sounds like a lot of fun. When I looked at this challenge the first time, it was unclear whether or not there were prizes, so I have a question mark there. And this one is also for the month of September. The third challenge, well, actually, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh challenge all have the same theme. So if you participate or post an entry for one of these, then you could participate and post your entry for all of these and take advantage of the prizes that are available from the ones that have prizes. So that's a lot of fun. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is called #Scraptember. I think that's a catchy name. This one is hosted by Caitlin at Whip Stitch Handmade. And each week she's going to have a theme. And her goal here is for you to use scraps or use your stash, and you can do any medium. So she's not only trying to encourage people that sew to use up fabric scraps and fabric stash. It's really from any craft. So you can knit, crochet, embroider, whatever type of craft that you do. If you've got a stash of materials that you use for your craft, she's encouraging you to use it and post your results in the challenge. This one does have prizes, and there is one per week, and it is for the month of September. All right, the next one is called Shelf Sewing September. Shelf Sewing September 21. So this challenge is a repeat, and it's hosted by Kate at Sewing From Scratch, and she hosted this last year. I wasn't aware of challenges at this time last year, so I wasn't really participating or paying attention to hashtag challenges. So I didn't know about this one until I saw her post on YouTube last week, I think it was. Anyway, again, she's encouraging you to use fabric from your stash. You need to be following her to participate and be eligible for prizes. And yes, she does have prizes that are focused on Canadian designers. So she's from Canada, and she specifically wanted to highlight Canadian designers. So the prizes are hosted or sponsored by the following designers: Helen's Closet, Closet Core, Thread Theory, and Buttons and Bibs. And that one runs for the month of September, so the 1st through the 30th. The next challenge is one that was started, I believe in August is when it started, and it's hosted by Pink Mimosa by Jacinta, and she hosts she comes up with some really great hashtag challenges. I really enjoy following her channel and following her challenges. I think they're really fun. So this challenge is the Whole 30 Fabric Challenge. So you may or may not be aware of the Whole 30 food program. It's a pretty strict program that really focuses on whole foods, and like there's a lot of restrictions. And her thought here was to use 30 yards of fabric from your stash before you buy anything new. I thought that was a great challenge. And so basically what happens is if you end up buying something new, you got to start over. So let's say you had 25 yards of fabric sewn and you buy something new, you got to start over with yard 0. Now, she doesn't have any prizes, but I mean, if you follow this hashtag and you look at her account, people are really, it's changing people and their perception, or maybe not their perception, but their thoughts behind their buying process. And it's really making people think more in depth before they make a purchase. And I think that is a great outcome of this challenge, even if there's no prizes. So I highly encourage you to participate in this. I have a couple of events coming up in this coming weekend. I've got my sewcation with my sewing buddies, and then the following weekend I'm going to be traveling with my husband, and I'm going to be up in the Baltimore area. And so I have a couple of fabric shopping trips that are already planned, but I think I'm going to participate in this Whole 30 after that second shopping trip, because I mean, my fabric stash, it's not as immense as a lot of people's. It's a lot for me. And I am, now that I've got my space organized, I am adamant that if there's not a place for it, then I can't have it. I do have a storage ottoman that's completely empty, so I do have a little bit more space to put some fabric, but once that's, I don't even want to fill it, but once that second trip is done, I'm cutting myself off. All right, so the next challenge is Sew Yourself Sustainable. This is the 3rd year for this challenge, and there will be a weekly theme. It is hosted by New Craft House on Instagram, and there is a massive prize at the end of this challenge. It's a FAF Passport 2.0 machine. I mean, that sounds pretty amazing to me. I will definitely be participating in this challenge. And this one also runs through the month of September. So yeah, that one sounds really fun, and it's the same. So you're self-sustainable. So it's kind of along the lines of the So 50 Sustainable Sewing Challenge from last month from Sew Over 50, where they're encouraging you again to use scraps, use stuff from your stash, use something that's already in the system. So maybe something from a thrift store, or something that's been gifted to you, or upcycling stuff from your closet instead of donating it. All that kind of stuff will help you, will be something that's eligible for this challenge, which I think is really cool. The final challenge that I have to share with you is hashtag sew what I have. And again, sew from your stash, sew from your scraps, sew from garments that you would be donating. So upcycle stuff that you already have. And this one is hosted by Kate at Time to Sew and Joyce at Poplin Peony. I love that. I love that handle. Peonies are my favorite flower, by the way. And there are prizes and discount purchase discounts that will be available. Details to come. They weren't available when I read the post this morning. This one actually runs for 3 months starting September 1st. So it'll run September, October, November. So I don't know, there weren't all the details. So I don't know if there are monthly prizes or weekly prizes or one grand prize. I don't know. You'll need to check out their account to find out those details. But yeah, I think that the challenges in September, I mean, I for one am at a point where I am saturated with fabrics. So I think I mentioned in one of my Friday sews that I need to really cut back my fabric consumption. Actually, I think it was my last fabric haul. That's what it was. I really need to cut back my fabric purchasing because we are saving to buy a house and all the expenses that come with buying or building a house. And fabric shopping is one of my weaknesses. So I am working on cutting back, and I've been doing pretty good. I haven't shopped for any fabric since I posted that video. And although I do have 2 trips coming up and I am going to buy some fabric, I'm going to allow myself, I'm setting a budget and I'm not going to go over the budget. So I'm going to do it thoughtfully. And really, I also am focusing, because what I've also discovered is that I have some fabrics in here that are not the highest quality, and they're not really my style anymore now that I've kind of really figured out what resonates with me and what makes me happy. I have fabrics in my stash that I bought because they were okay and they were really on sale. That's not a good enough reason. So unless it makes my eyes pop, I'm not buying it anymore. So that's my goal. So what I've done in pursuit of that goal is I have unsubscribed to every fabric shop email in my inbox. So I won't be made aware of all the great sales. I won't be made aware of all the new releases, which, you know, I feel when I first started unsubscribing, I'm like, but I like their fabrics. Maybe I should keep them. And it's like, no, I cut everybody off. So I will only know about great sales or great fabrics when it's time, when I have a need for something and I'm going and searching. So that is my goal. And I think these challenges in September are going to help me use up my stash and decide whether or not, look, I might de-stash some of this. I might donate it, or I don't know about selling it on a de-stash site, because I don't know, the thought of selling it and being responsible for somebody else's approval or satisfaction with the fabric once they get it. You know, if you sell it, then you've got to be selling, you've got to make sure that you're, you know, giving them 100% of the information. And some of these fabrics, I don't know the fabric content. I could easily measure it so I know the yardage, but I don't know the fabric content. So I don't feel comfortable selling it to unknown people and being responsible for their satisfaction or dissatisfaction. So I am not sure what I'm going to do with the stuff that I don't want, because I don't do muslins unless I am really worried about how something's going to fit, or it's overly complicated, or Maybe I'll do muslins in the future because I'm gonna have my stash worked down to only things that I absolutely love and I might not wanna mess them up. But for now, it's not something that I typically do. I've done it a couple of times and on things that I felt like I needed to do it on. But for the most part, I feel like if something doesn't fit, then I can just alter it to fit once I make it. Like I don't know. Is that not the right way to think of it? Let me know. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did I make you aware of any challenges that you didn't know about already? Do you know of any challenges that I didn't mention? And are you excited? Are you going to participate in any of these? I am probably not going to participate in the Funderwear challenge because I'm not really interested in making panties, but I will share the challenge on my Instagram page and I will be donating to the cause. I probably will not participate in the So Vintage challenge, although I think that one is really fun. Vintage styles just aren't my thing. Like it's not what I gravitate to, even though I love seeing other people's vintage remakes. Love it. But I am going to participate in the sustainable sewing from your stash challenges, and whatever I make, it'll participate in all of them. So tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what you're going to do. I really look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Wherever you are, I hope that the weather is fantastic and I hope that you're able to get some sewing in. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.